Hello everyone. Today we will be presenting on the ethics, security, and impacts of autonomous vehicles. Our presentation will cover general pros and cons, liability issues, ethical issues, cybersecurity vulnerabilities, infrastructure transformation, and standard of liability regarding autonomous vehicles. First, here are some general pros and cons of widely adopting autonomous vehicles. Pros include a decrease in the economic cost of driving. Since drivers become passengers, they can use that travel time for other activities. Road efficiency will increase since AVs require less road space, which improves traffic flow and road capacity. Autonomous driving systems can also optimize routes to reduce fuel consumption. Additionally, AVs help limit human contact during the pandemic by contactless mobility. Cons include an increased total emissions because travel becomes more convenient, so more people will be using cars frequently. The adoption of AVs may also cause job loss, especially for taxis and truck drivers. Finally, the convenience of AVs may discourage walking or biking, contributing to reduced physical activity.
So one of the biggest problems holding back self-driving cars isn't the technology. It's figuring out who gets blamed when one crashes, and our current laws really have nothing in place to handle this. Right now, liability laws say if you own the car and there's an accident, the blame falls on you. And that made sense when humans were driving, but with autonomous vehicles, it's completely different. The crashes aren't going to happen by someone texting or running a red light. They're going to happen because a software glitch, a sensor failed, or the engineers just didn't program something properly. So it makes no sense to blame the person just sitting in the car while it drives itself. That's why liability needs to shift from the car owner to the manufacturers, the tech companies building these systems. And this matters because it changes how car insurance works, affects whether people will trust and buy these cars. And most importantly, if manufacturers know they're legally responsible when something goes wrong, they have real incentive to make sure these cars are safe instead of just rushing them out to make more money.
We have established that liability is shifting from the driver to the manufacturer, but that creates a major legal gap. Currently, if you get hit by a self-driving car, you have to prove there was a specific defect in the software code to win a lawsuit. As Mark McCarthy from the Brookings Institutions argues, this burden of proof is nearly impossible for the average victim. His proposed solution is the reasonable human driver standard. Instead of digging through millions of lines of code, we simply look at the behavior. We ask, would a focused, competent human have avoided this crash? If the answer is yes, the manufacturer is liable. This standard is powerful because it forces companies to fix stupid robot errors, like driving into wet cement, that no human would make. However, to push safety higher than human levels, McCarthy warns he cannot rely on lawsuits alone. We need strict forward-looking government regulations.
So, in order to develop policies to regulate these liabilities, AV companies will also have to answer how they react to unavoidable crashes, because there are no regulatory standards in ethically ambiguous situations for where autonomous vehicles must choose between saving the life of the passenger or other road users. It reveals a profit incentive in order to save passengers because passengers are customers. So it's a question between whether or not these customers choose self-sacrificing for the utilitarian good or self-preservation, but on the other hand, more road users die. And the widespread adoption of autonomous vehicles will require a careful balance of communication regarding these ethical issues.
So, autonomous vehicles can use a number of different systems to help them operate efficiently and safely. These systems can include navigation systems that help them plan routes and make driving decisions. They can also include sensor and camera systems which help the vehicle detect or prevent crashes. Some systems can also include those that involve user interaction, such as Bluetooth or Wi-Fi connections, for like phone calls and stuff like that. So all these systems help the vehicles operate efficiently, but they can also be vulnerable to cyber attacks. For example, cyber attacks on navigation systems can alter vehicle decision making, can cause route manipulation, and expose sensitive location information within the vehicle. Personal data can also be targeted and exposed if user devices are connected through these Bluetooth or Wi-Fi systems. And sensors can also be targeted and spoofed, which can also alter vehicle perception, behavior, and cause potential dangers on the road.
How self-driving cars could transform city infrastructure. Self-driving cars will reshape cities by reducing the need for parking lots and curbside spaces, opening land for parks, housing, and bike lanes. Streets could shift to quick drop-off zones with vehicles coordinating digitally for safer intersections. These benefits require early policy planning. Without it, new traffic and equity problems could emerge.